Hey, bosses, we are on day 7 of our resilience reboot. And I'm excited because I've gotten some really great feedback from you guys. Thank you so much for those of you who have participated, who have shared with me what you've experienced over this past, 6 days. And I think I'm going to continue to do this throughout the year as well. I think I've gotten some really good feedback, and some of you have shared that it's been highly beneficial. So thank you again for taking the time to check in with me every day at noon. For those of you who have missed it over these past couple of days, you can always go back and download a full copy, a full list of all the tips that I'm sharing during this resilience reboot. You can go to shiftsinsuccess.com/freebie12. That's the number 12. And you can download all the information that I've shared, as well as you can stay connected. I got some really good things that I'm going to be sharing with you over the next couple of days. As a matter of fact, on my birthday, which is January 23rd. So that's when we're going to end this 12-day resilient reboot. But I definitely want you to stay connected so that I can just share with you some of the good things we got coming up. So let's go ahead and jump into day 7. We're talking about quality sleep habits. So leaders getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep nightly are 20% more likely to make effective decisions and exhibit strong emotional intelligence, according to the Sleep Health Journal. And so I'm going to share with you 3 very easy ways, especially if if you don't do that great with sleeping. I would encourage you to give it a shot tonight. For me, I'm not the best sleeper. And so this is kind of like a reminder for me. And so I'm looking at this as being more of a reminder. Most of us all know that in order to produce better outcomes, just in terms of how we feel, how we respond to things throughout the day, we know that we need better sleep in our lives. All of us could use better sleep. So let's talk about the 3 tips. The first way is to establish a routine. So I want you to just pick a consistent sleep schedule that's going to regulate your body's clock, right? So for me, that's typically like 11 o'clock at night. I'm just going to be honest with you. I've tried the 9 o'clock. I've tried going to bed at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30. It just doesn't work for me. What I realize is that the best time for me to really allow my body to go to sleep is normally around 11 o'clock. Now, I have friends, I know people who their bedtime is at 9 p.m., 9:30. I wish I could get my body to do that, but unfortunately, that's not the case. And I'm okay with it. I give myself grace. And I want you to give yourself grace as well. Just find a time that works for you in terms of creating that consistency and creating that routine. The next thing is create a restful environment. So you want to ensure that your bedroom is quiet, that it's dark, that is cool, and that you use your bed only for sleep and intimacy. That's it. I know sometimes people will use their computers, they'll get on their computers, they'll get on their phones at night before they go to bed. This actually tends to make it more difficult for you to fall asleep or to have a consistent sleep at night. So just keep that in mind, especially as you're preparing to go to bed. Just make sure that the environment is right and that is something that's restful and that's a comfortable space. The last thing is limit your screen time. This is something that we all know, because we know that the more we're exposed to blue light, we're likely going to, it's likely going to stimulate us more, right? And so what I want you to do is to avoid any type of screen time at least an hour before you go to bed, to reduce that blue light exposure. And this is something, again, that I'm working on. So everything that I'm sharing, these are the things that I'm like, okay, this is just a reminder of something that I know that I need to do tonight when I go to bed. So I want you to take some time tonight and practice this. See how you feel, see the results that you have, see what works for you. And you may find that this is something that you can do over a period of time, right? And what I believe, really, any of these tips that I'm sharing with you, if you practice, if you do these things over a consistent period of time, you're taking small bite-sized steps, right? You're going to produce greater outcomes in whatever it is, especially in terms of your resiliency as a leader, in terms of the way you show up, not only at work, but how you show up at home, okay? So check in with me. Let me know what you think about this and what you experience as you try to implement establishing a routine, creating a restful environment, and limiting your screen time. I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 8 of our Resilience Reboot.